Hello everyone. Today I would like to discuss the very important topic is diode. And the material whatever I have here, it's will not get it any textbook. So most of the material I have collected to make sure if you are an electronic hobbyist or studying engineering colleges, or if you have wanted to see the career in electronics circuit design, is really video for you. So this one, the first picture, whatever you are seeing it here, this is the have many have seen in the books, is called anode, that's positively, and cathode is a negative. And this one, if you have might have seen in some of the pictures in your electronics lab, these are diodes. And direction of a flow of the current is always from anode to cathode. So if you come across the definition of this, it is nothing but a diode is a semiconductor device that essentially act as a one-way switch for current. It means current will not flow in other direction, but practically it is not possible. So there is some amount of current will pass through the cathode to anode. It allows current to flow easily in one direction, but severely restrict current from flowing in the opposite direction. So what are going to be discussed today? So today I will discuss about types of diodes and how to measure, working principle of a diode, diode application, understanding diode specification. So this one, fourth one, is very essential, because what I feel in this industry, most of the newcomers, when you join the industry, they do not know what is the specification of diode. And then fifth, if you are aware of the fourth specification, then it will be how to select the right diode for your application. Next is type of diodes. So if you see, there is a multiple types of diode: bridge rectifiers, general purpose diodes, Schottky diodes, Zener diodes, varactor diodes, and TVS diodes. So if you see, there is applications are different. So bridge rectifier, we know that that will be converting AC to DC. But same bridge rectifier diodes cannot be used everywhere. Suppose you wanted to be used in SMPS, you have to use the Schottky diode. So reason behind is that using Schottky diode, because their reverse recovery time is very less. It's called the fast diode. Then similar Zener diode. Zener diode also is kind of we are using for the reference voltages. Varactor diode they're using mainly in RF circuitry. TVS diode is basically protection. So if you see that the overall there is a big portfolio of a diode. Then suppose let's you come across the diode, but how to understand this diode is good or bad? How to test this diode? So testing of a diode is very simple. If you have any multimeter, you can connect anode as a positive and cathode as a negative, and you will see the voltage drop, because multimeter is having some battery inside that, and it will be regulated, current regulated multimeters. Multimeter, you cannot expect it's a huge amount of current will flow. So you can easily test any kind of diode using this, but do not try to test with any uncontrolled source. If you try to test with any uncontrolled source, definitely it will damage. So each diode is very specific requirement of forward current, and that you must aware of that. Anyway, the next few minutes I'm going to discuss about that. So if you will see there is some voltage drop like 0.5233. It is actually drop across the diode. If you reverse it, basically you are connecting positive to the cathode and negative to the anode, and then your multimeter show OL, nothing but a open loop. Means there is no conduction, so there is an open loop. So next will be working principle of a diode. So these are the things mostly you would have studied in some of the textbook, but how to understand this? What is actually happening here? So this is the DC source, the battery you can consider. Is the type, means positively charged, basically is the holes, The black dots, whatever you're seeing, that is the holes. And in middle layer is called depletion layer, and N type is basically number of electrons present in that this area is very high. So what happens when you switch closing? If your switch is closed, then this is the positively charged and your holes also positively charged. So they will repel each other. Similar here, if this is a negatively charged and your N type is also negatively, so this side repel. So what you see, there is a very thin line of a depletion region. So previous condition, the depletion region was big in size, and once you apply the voltage across PN junction, you say the depletion region is very less, and this depletion region will keep coming very thin once your level of voltage will be high. So there is a certain voltage, it depends upon the type of diode, is this layer will break down, and once it is break down, this start conducting. But what happens if you put the reverse polarity? So what will happen here? This is the positively charged and your N type itself is a negatively charged. So what will happen? This will be attract. So if you see that all electrons, small white color, it will all electrons attracted towards this positive terminal of battery or DC source. Similar over here is the negative and this is the P type, is the positively, all the dots are positively charged. So this side, this will attract towards the negative. So your depletion region is very become thick, and that's why it will become off. So if you see that the first condition and second condition, this is called the diode on condition, and this condition is called diode off condition. Now I will take you some brief application of a diode, and it's the most generic one. So this is the AC voltage connected to the in series with the diode and resistor. So what happens? AC is nothing but sinusoidal. When it will be one cycle will go to positive, other cycle it will come negative, and that is positive. So what happens if it is positive cycle? Let's consider first cycle is positive. So it will go through this diode and pass through the load and come back to here. So you are getting the positive waveform across the load, and once it is reversing the direction and it will try to go to the load and come to here, but this diode will not conduct because diode will conduct only one direction. So you're seeing there is no voltage across the resistor, basically across the load, and again positive again is conducting that. So you are getting the waveform like this. So what happens if it is I wanted to be make the full cycle? So if you wanted to full cycle, you have to, instead of one diode, you have to use either 2 or 4 diodes. So I'm here take an example because this is the most generic full bridge rectifier. So what will happen? Let's understand this. So this is a positive cycle. So once positive cycle is started, the first one encounter with a D1 and as well as D3. But D3 is off because the D3 cannot allow current to pass through this. So what will happen? The D1 will conduct. D1 will go to the load and again pass through the D4 and come back here. Then after some duration, it's a pulse reversed and gone to the negative direction. What will happen here? If you go here and D4 will not conduct, it will be off, and then D2 will conduct, and diode D2 will conduct and pass through the load. And how it return? Return to the D3 and come back. So means any electronic circuitry, you must make sure whatever current is coming out of the devices is must come in. So if you any current is going through this direction, it will come back to this direction, then only circuit will complete. So if you see the waveform, what will be across the load? So across the load is only seeing the positive cycles. It doesn't see any negative. So that's why this entire both applications called rectifier and is converting AC to DC. And one very interesting application of diode in relay circuitry. So what happens in relay circuitry? This is your digital command. Once you give the digital command to the transistor, so there is a voltage across over here. Let's consider 12 volt or 15 volt. Depends upon the relay rating. So even 5 volt also the relay will available, 5, 12, 24. So let's consider 5 volt or 12 volt relay is considered. So once it is switched on, then current will pass through this RL1 and come to this transistor and go to the ground. But what happens? Suddenly you switched off. Once you switched off here, then there is a direction is already built in this direction, and but you stopped it suddenly. Then some energy is stored because this is an inductor. So once this energy is stored, and then there is no path to dissipate this energy, it will be always stored. And once you next time you give the pulse, it will be start spike. It may damage your transistor or it will be damage the other connected source. So how to resolve this issue? So we must connect parallel to one diode. So what will happen? So once you switch on, it will be passing through the RL1 and go to transistor and it will go to ground. But once you off it, so whatever energy is stored in the relay, it will pass through the D1. That's called the freewheeling. Basically, it is a freewheeling diode. And whatever energy is stored in that, it will pass through this and it will be dissipate in the coil because each coil of relay is having some resistance. Basically, if you see that 12 ohm to 60 ohm resistance will be available within the coil. So all the energy, whatever is stored in that relay, it will be dissipate. So this is a very important application of a diode. Next, what I was talking, most of the books, they will never give you much details about the specification. And it's getting it in the textbook is very difficult. So I request you to please concentrate over here because each parameter is very important. If you miss a single parameter, then it will be very difficult. You will be mostly choose the wrong diode for your application. So there is a two types, silicon or germanium. So silicon is the most widely used material and because it's easily available and the voltage drop across is around 0.5 to 1.5 even 2 volt. But most of the book they will say only either zero point 0.6 or zero point 0.7, but it is the totally depends upon the size of the diode and application. So mostly it will vary. And germanium is less widely used and it is costly but offer a low turn on voltage of around 0.2 to 0.3 volts. So whenever you wanted to very specific application, you can go for germanium. So there is a multiple diodes what I have already discussed. So there is some application of a Zener diode generally that will be used in reference voltages. Varactor diode, that is a variable level of capacitance in RF design. Rectifier diodes, just before I explain you, this is a PN junction diode or Schottky diode that we are going to be used in most of the application of switch mode power supply. And these are the very high speed switching. So next important, forward voltage drop. What does it mean? Basically, diode will be in off condition. So when you started giving the supply, small voltages to that, then it will be not start conducting. So this voltage, whatever it is not conducting, till not conducting, this is the, you will find always a drop across that. And a certain point where it will start conducting. So that will be the forward voltage drop. So let's consider that's whatever we have discussed about the silicon is zero point 0.7 volt it will take. So if you do 0.6 or less than 0.6 volt, it will not conduct. So this is the, if you see x-axis is voltage and y-axis is current. So at certain amount of voltage, once you apply, once you cross that, that is called the forward voltage drop and is always will be there in that devices. And suppose you are giving 1.5 volt and if you drop it 0.6, so after the diode, whatever the passing through the other circuitry, it will be around 0.8 volt. And once it will be crossed, so it will be go to the so exponentially high. Then next will be the peak inverse voltage. What does it mean? It means that if you go give that uh, diode in reverse voltage, like you are giving the cathode is a positive and anode is a negative. So what will happen? It will be comes as a off condition and at certain duration that's called as the maximum PIV, means up to that it will be act as a off. But if you go to the more than that, then it will cause reverse breakdown voltage. So there is a very fine gap between peak inverse voltage and reverse breakdown voltage. So till peak inverse voltage, diode is working as a off switch, and reverse breakdown voltage means diode is got avalanche breakdown. Means whatever the is having the rating of a backward current or leakage current, if you cross that, it will be completely break. Next is maximum forward current. That is the very important, and most designer will do the mistake over here. They will be not taking the right rating of a forward current, because once it is on, it will keep flowing the current until unless your circuitry is having some kind of a limiting. So let's consider I have a diode where rating is 1 ampere. So if by chance, if you're crossing the rating of 1 ampere, it will be completely destroyed. And is there chances of get fired? So you make sure whatever the diode output side, either resistors or any other circuitry, should not draw more current than whatever rating for the particular diode. Then this is semiconductor, they're having the junction. So like all the electronics component, diode have a maximum operating temperature. And you must operate within that temperature. If you go beyond that temperature, definitely it will be uh, catch fire. Then leakage current. So leakage current, as I discussed before, so none of the diode is idle diode. So all practical diode is having some amount of leakage when you are giving the polarity reversed. So that some amount of current will all keep flowing in the off condition. That nothing but is called leakage current. Uh, So now is one more is very important topic, that is the reverse recovery operation. Basically what happens, a diode is in forward conduction. Then its depletion layer will be shrink, like what I have told before. It's a very fine layer. It will be very shrink, and breakdown and current started flowing from the anode to cathode. Now imagine you change that polarity of a diode. Then what will happen? It's supposed to be go to off condition. So now diode was conducting as a forward direction, and suddenly it's supposed to be stop and off, but practically it is not possible. So what happened? Diode does not seize right at the moment of reversing the bias. In fact, they take a finite amount of time before stopping, and this time is known as reverse recovery time. So if you see here, there was the forward conduction, and suddenly you change the polarity. It doesn't stop, and it keep going down, and then again recovering back. So if you see the total time, supposed to be once it is off, it's supposed to be straight line over here, but doesn't happen. It's go down and again come up. So this total time is nothing but reverse recovery time. Then now we are going to discuss about how to select the diode. What are the parameters? So previously, whatever in the video I have discussed about, so what is the peak reverse voltage? So one direction, okay, fine. You need a minimum 0.6, 0.7 voltage. But once you wanted to be off condition of a diode, what is the reverse voltage will apply across the diode? Suppose you wanted to connect one diode at 230 RMS, but a peak of this RMS will be 230 into root 2, nothing but 325 volt. So any diode, if you are connecting in the AC where 230 volt is your supply, then you must connect more than 325 volt. So basically I can say you take more margin, connect either 400 or 500 voltage of reverse voltage. Then next is forward current. So what are you expecting? What is your entire circuitry demand? So depends upon your circuitry demand, you must know what is my forward current required to pass through the diode. Or this application is for fast recovery rectifier. if any device, any circuitry where you are doing the very high frequency switching, then you have to select a fast recovery rectifier. But if you go to the general rectifier, it will be taking more time. So what does it mean, fast recovery? Fast recovery, nothing but what is your TRR. The just previously we have seen that reverse recovery time. So how much reverse recovery time it takes the particular diode? If you see the general diodes, it will take around some microseconds, 2 microseconds to 20 microseconds it will take. But if it is fast recovery rectifier, it will be very, very less, 150 nanoseconds. Then forward voltage drop. So most of the book you have seen that, okay, 0.6 or 0.7 drop, and once you do the measurement, we see that it's more, 1.5 volt. So basically, practical diodes are almost closer to 1 volt. Very, very specific device only will come either 0.2, 0.3, 0.5. So you will be always getting 1.15 volt. Here is max surge current. So you have to also see that what are the circuitry, how much current it can go. There is a kind of spike. Do you have any switching spike? So if you, any switching spike, something is there, and what is the switching surge will be available. So if surge is about 30 ampere or 40 amperes, you have to see accordingly and define this. And reverse current. So this is the, suppose you applied the reverse voltage, you reverse the polarity, and some leakage started flowing. If that is more than 10 macroampere, this device will fail. So these are a very, very important parameters. You must decide based on your circuit application. Then what is your minimum operating temperature? What is your maximum operating temperature? What are the spaces you have to be mount these devices? So either SMT or through hole, or depends upon your application size of the board. So if you, first of all, you list all the requirements. Based on the requirement, you can approach to the supplier or manufacturer. They will be recommending something like this. So manufacturing part number, manufacturer, what do they have the ability stock, what is the pricing, is that ROHS compliance, what are the kind of mounting styles, packaging. So these are the entire details will be manufacturer will provide you, depends upon what you have given the requirement to them. Next, because now is a completely internet era, if you wanted to be purchase the diode directly by your own, so you can go to the Mouser, DigiKey, Element 14, RS Components. So many are online portals are available where you can select, but you make sure your requirements should be very much clear. So let's consider these are the what are the requirements are there. We can select it: manufacturer, packaging, series, part status, diode, what is the reverse voltage. So these are the things. If you select it, you will get it some kind of your output, and that depends upon the your budget, depends upon the size, depends upon all the things. You can choose it for your application. So what I was previously mentioning, if it is fast diode, the recovery time was some nanoseconds. But if it is standard recovery rectifier, you will see that 2 microseconds. So these are the devices you cannot use for wherever you wanted to be switching. So that's all from today, and I'm going to keep updating all the new topics for you. If you really like the whatever the content of this video, I request you to please share with your friends, your colleague, and I promise they will be definitely going to be help of whatever the contents I collected here. Thank you very much. Nice, good day.